name is Cass. It is an absolute honor to be here to run Control, any percent inbounds, current patch, no shield glitch for you all. I will get into what that means during the run, but first I would like to introduce a very, very special co-commentator, my mother, Denise. She has learnt this run specifically to be here for me today. She has her script ready. We're not going to waste any more time. Let's get into it. I don't even have to do any setup because you guys selected Standard to be the outfit of choice. And fun fact, this is history being made, as this is the first marathon this game has ever been at that Janitor's Assistant was not selected as the costume. So we're going to see regular old vanilla Jessie go as fast as possible. So straight off the bat, we're going to jump into it very, very quickly with our very first skip here. My goodness, this mouse is very sensitive. With our very first skip here, which is called Water Cooler Skip, and I just stuffed it up, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm going to have to get used to this mouse sensitivity. Hang on. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. What am I looking for here? Sprint. This isn't on your script either, don't worry. There's no toggle on, off. We want mouse sensitivity right there, right there. Normally, this would have transferred across from my copy at home, but it's all right. That's all right. Basically, it is a bugged mantle. There it is. Clap for that. So, all right. So, normally at home, I have a script that binds my spacebar to my mouse wheel and the mouse wheel to a different number so that I can spam jump really easily. Unfortunately, we don't have that here today, so I'm just simply going to have to spam the spacebar a whole bunch. So I'll apologize to tech in advance for that. But welcome to Control. We play as Jessie. Jessie has infiltrated the Federal Bureau of Control, or the FBC, which is a secret government organization that is set on securing, containing, and protecting what is called objects of power. I will introduce some of the objects as we get into them. We have an entity in our head known as Polaris. Polaris is an extra-dimensional being that I won't reveal too much about, but the game does start with a bang.
You know what's on my mind.
There it is. I hope you guys can hear the game for audio, because otherwise that joke wouldn't have made any sense. And here we are on our way to the director's office for a job interview for the janitor's assistant, and we find that the director has met a very unfortunate end, so we do what any of us would do, we pick up the murder weapon. And just like in real life, whenever you touch a weapon that's killed somebody, you gain that person's job. So now we are the director of the Federal Bureau of Control, and we get sent straight to the astral plane. And the astral plane is sort of an extra-dimensional entity, extra-dimensional area where the... oh, I just realized my key bindings aren't going to be set properly. Should have set this up in advance, but that's okay. That's okay.
This is he.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
I think I taught him better than that.
There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. What's that? This is fine. This is fine now.
Sorry.
So the astral plane is a cognitive realm that sort of acts as a trial for Jessie. So every object of power, such as the service weapon, which is the gun that we've just picked up, has sentience. So basically, we are trying to prove our worth to the weapon so that it will bond to us and give us special powers. In this sense, the special power is shoot. So we're just going to take advantage of that, take out these guys. And what you're going to see here is I'm doing some camera manipulation. One of the main features of tech is camera manip. So by looking in particular directions at particular times, cause the enemies to spawn in different locations. So you'll see me do that a hell of a lot. I'm going to do it right here as well. But we passed the trials, we found the director, and the gun has accepted us. And now we're introduced to the primary enemy of the game, the Hiss. The Hiss is an auditory enemy, auditory power from another dimension that basically infects humans and turns them into corrupted, almost zombie-like creatures. So here's another camera manip to make all three enemies spawn here. The reason for the camera manip is to either get them to enemies to line up or group up or just spawn near us. Now that guy there, more that guy, and fine. And then these last two guys always spawn the same spot, so you just double melee them. Oh, that's good to go. Here's our first mini-boss. This is the first reset point of the run, so we're going to hope that I don't die here. Take out this guy, point 4. So, one thing about the game is it has no difficulty adjustment in no difficulty modes. So you're always playing Control on the hardest difficulty, and it will not get easier. There's a lot that can go wrong. In fact, I'm going to donate $10 for every single time. $50 if I go down. melee this guy to sort of stun him and then just click in his face, just like that. He's going to drop a couple of upgrades, and we got a headshot boost, which is a fantastic upgrade for us to get straight off the bat. We're going to go ahead and equip those. So that means my headshot will do more damage. There are two types of upgrades in this game. You can get personal modifications or weapon modifications. Personal mods are sort of your, they increase your mana pool, your health amounts, and then weapon mods will do things like make you more damage. The mod that I really want to see is headshot energy recharge. What that means is every time I get a headshot, I gain a little bit of mana back, and that's going to be my primary. I just realized I'm going to have to set my keybind for that as well. Normally this all would have been set up in advance, but because I play on the deluxe edition at home, and this is just the regular edition, we're going to have to change a few things here. So launch has to be that. Evade. I think that's fine. There we go. So we just cleansed our first control point, which is basically this game's bonfires. They will act as our fast travel points as well as save spots. So I'm going to take a couple of those for safety throughout the run and utilize them a whole bunch for fast traveling around the map. Here we introduced Emily Pope, who is the head assistant of the research facility and one of our favourite characters. We're going to head over here and attempt to cleanse these first corrupted agents. We failed. I skipped that cutscene. But basically, they know that we are different, as the gun has selected us as the new director. And for whatever reason, we are not affected by the hiss, despite the fact that we are not wearing an HRA, which stands for Hadron Resonance Amplifier, which is the weird little vests that all the other characters are wearing. Normally we would do a quit out there, but it's actually slower real time as opposed to this game is usually measured in in-game time. But it's a little bit slower to do IGT. I gotta drop my aiming sensitivity as well. This is there we go. All right. We're good.
You sorted?
Sorted.
Good.
Thank you. All right, so here we've got another cameraman nib that didn't work. There they are. And sometimes you just miss the enemies altogether. I promise it's not my aiming. The gun does have quite a fair amount of bloom. And in the same way that you can headshot enemies can headshot you. So you'll see that happen quite a number of times. You kind of get one effect or the other. Either they're Legolas or they're Stormtroopers, and they'll either never miss you or they'll never hit you. But Mum, while I do this, would you like to explain Mailroom to us, please?
I'd love to. So, in this room, we're going to try and kill the guy in the middle before he drops down from the air, just to try and avoid getting overwhelmed, and then we're going to meet our first shielded enemy. So bullets can't penetrate the shield, so they need to first be broken with the force of a punch or by launching an object at them.
We do not have the launchability yet, but we'll get that very, very soon.
Hopefully.
So that went really well. So that's...
My commentary or you're playing? Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Your commentary was better than the room. But here we see the oldest house. The oldest house has sort of shifts. It moves around. The oldest house is the building that the Federal Bureau has made its headquarters. It is a place of power. So just like we have objects of power, we also have places of power. It's very similar to, a lot of mythology, places that can't be found unless you know where to look. And Jessie has spent most of her life trying to find this location. So here we actually have the hardest skip in the game. This is called the ladder skip, and I'm going to try it a couple of times before I move on. Oh, that's one. We can do this the intended way, but that's called the walk of shame, and I really don't want to have to do that in a marathon setting. But we're not going to have to do it. Let's go. And now we're going to touch the floppy disk, and now we can throw things with our mind. So this is the launchability. The launchability, there's another setting that's wrong. Are you guys sick of seeing this setting screen yet? Toggle mouse hold launch. There we go. So we're in another trial here now in the astral plane to test the launchability out, which is basically routed out almost to perfection now. We know exactly where to aim and what enemies to shoot in what order. Done by there's some incredible work by the wider control community to route out a lot of these fights. There are quite a few that we do skip without having to actually get in. For the last time, this run is completely cleanless. There are a couple of things that we take advantage of, but as the name suggests, it is completely inbounds, which if you've ever seen a normal run of this game, they spend very little time inbounds, and we skip entire sections of the game. This will be control in its quote-unquote purest form. So this is what you'll be used to seeing if you play this game casually, with as minimal glitches as possible. I'm just going to try and use my history of the game to be able to do it as
Emily
fast
said that
as
the
I
hotline
possibly can.
can be reached
We will point out the few things that we do that take advantage of. Here's one control point that if I was smart, I would take for safety, but I'm just not going to do that. And we're going to see how it
This
goes.
must open
But Mom,
the
you
door.
want to talk about Tomasi while I do the fight?
So this is Tomasi, and can be a real meme sometimes, and is one of the biggest reset points of the run. So the strategy here is to shoot at him, until he dodges, and once he's dodged, it goes on cooldown, and we can safely throw tables at him. We need to try and manage his cooldown and continue dealing damage to him while avoiding the things he throws at us, all while making our way towards the door at the back of the room, which will unlock the end of this fight.
So this is what happens when Smart Speeds are made. Got it, there we go. So the game does have one-shot protection. So if I'm at full health and I get hit, I will get dropped to 1 health. But then there is no invulnerability at all. So I can get dropped to 1 health and then the next second just get killed. Here she says, I have a feeling he'll be back, but because we are playing any percent and not all bosses, she's actually wrong. We won't see Tomasi again. We'll see Tomasi like enemies, which I generally just refer to the enemies by the boss that represents them. So you'll hear me say Tomasi a whole bunch of times, but know that it's not actually
Been
him.
here before?
Now we get teleported to the Ocean View Motel and Casino, which is another place sort of outside of time. Just like any good hotel or casino, it is filled with puzzles. This one is very, very simple. I have to ring the bell 3 times, it opens the 3rd door. I can then go and collect the keys and go back to the oldest house. But they will get slightly more convoluted as we go. Thankfully, the solution is the same every single time. So all I've got to do is remember which time I am at the casino. This is one of the times where you will see one of the quit-outs actually get used, so it will teleport me back to the end of the mail room. Oh, sorry, I have to do an astral plane challenge first. After this, you will see me run back and do an actual quit-out, which will fast travel me back to the last control point I activated, and that will allow me to fast travel back to second control. This is a little bit dangerous. I'm kind of low on health here, but I'm going to risk it. Oh, that was lucky. That was lucky. So just while I finish this off, JK, if you've got any messages for us, by all means, the floor is yours.
I do have one donation. $5 from Tim Trollgasm. Best of luck to my favourite person named Cass.
That's a pretty good claim, because there's that bird in Legend of Zelda, I've heard.
Also, by the way, I do have the death counter. I have an official death counter now going.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. So that was the hotline. The hotline is our direct connection to the board. The board of directors are sort of the extraplanar entity that controls everything in the FBC. We don't really know a whole lot about them from the lore side of things, and that we do know I'm not going to tell you because I would really like all of you to go play this game casually. But it's our one-way communication with the board for them to give us instructions. In the setting currently, just to give you an intro as to how things have gone, the Bureau is currently under lockdown because the Hiss have infiltrated our world through a rift in the dimensions known as a threshold. And basically we need to try and force them out, but because the building is under lockdown, we need to go and unlock the rest of the building so that we can go and save a bunch of employees in advance. So here we have teleported back to Central Executive. The start of the game is going to be a lot of, run out,
Jesse, did you get the
do a
hotline?
mission,
I mean, how
come
is
back,
it out?
talk to Pope, run out, do another
You're
mission,
supposed to-
until we get a bit further into the game where we start exploring a bit more of the overall story. So here we're now going to go see Artie. Before I do so, here I'm going to do a quick level up
Seems like
here.
it's coming from the elevator.
Abilities. I've got to do this slowly because I always accidentally click the wrong ability, and if I do that, I have to reset the run. And we're like a couple of minutes in, so I really don't want to do that. Here we've got another little skip where I'm going to try and activate this elevator twice. So we're going to go down, down, enter, activate down, perfect. That takes about a second, and it's one of the hardest skips to do. Basically, it just skips a fade out by, you know when you're in a crosswalk and you press the button more times to make it go faster? It's basically the same sort of mechanic as that. But here we're going to head down to maintenance, which is where Artie, the janitor, resides. Artie is a very mysterious character who seems to know a lot more than he should.
The maintenance sector is the janitor domain.
Actually, you know what? That's borderline spoilers, so I'm not going to talk about that. But by pressing up against those pipes, you get a speed boost. And this is one of the cooler skips. This is probably the closest we get to a real glitch in the actual run. What I'm going to do is I'm going to line myself up very specifically here, put the camera over my
Felt like
other
you
shoulder,
made the
and
elevator
shoot this
feel
guy.
like the office.
He's going to drop down, and then I'm going to kill these guys without moving forward. So I'm not going to cross this little path here. So what this is going to do, if I kill these guys without crossing a particular trigger point, I'm going to avoid the second wave from spawn. The second wave has like a really long cooldown after the first wave is killed. So by killing these guys before I actually move up there, we're going to avoid that second wave altogether, and it saves about 40 seconds. And shooting those guys down from the other side of the window, for whatever reason, Jesse doesn't go through the window, but her bullets do. And it's just that one guy that's hovering that if you shoot them, they all fall down. Remember that in about 6 minutes time. But here we're going to cleanse another control point and enter one of the most satisfying rooms in the game from a combat perspective, where this has been routed very, very well. So launch there, shoot this guy, run up here, aim down here, shoot this guy. We're going to try and line these two up. We can kill with one launch and miss, but that's okay. Oh. And I've got one last guy who's going to be just in here. There we go. So that's not how you're supposed to do it ultimately, but it still looks kind of cool. So I'm going to run through here, and then we're going to go off to do a side mission, which is unusual in speedruns, and it does not look like it's a side mission. It just literally says, hey, what's down that way? And there's a giant red flashing light. They may as well have a neon sign that says, hey, go this way. But this is going to unlock our dash ability, which is going to make us zip around this map very, very quickly and allow us to skip certain sections of the map by dashing in a very rhythmic way. Once you see the ability, you'll realize how important it is. I actually went through the entire game on my first casual playthrough without picking this ability up. So it is optional, but for the speedrun, it's very, very much required. And we do have another skip here, which I will get Mum to explain while I try and actually do it.
So the dash skip. So we're going to dash around the outside of the intended path. There are giant walls that move in and out.
Seconds. Give me 2 seconds.
Oh.
Sorry.
I didn't realise he was back on that screen again. Does everybody do this, or is it just him?
All right. Good.
So there are giant walls. Are there giant walls yet?
There are giant walls.
That move in and out to create a sort of an obstacle course, and that we're supposed to navigate through, but by dashing around the outside and landing very carefully, we can skip it all together. So it's not considered out of bounds because we're still very much inside the confines of the room. We just move around the edges of the room instead.
And I'd actually like to point out that I got it first try.
Oh, I was just going to say.
When my controls were right, I actually got it first try. So I'm going to blame me having not set my control my inputs.
Okay, we'll blame them.
But yeah. It's never my fault. It's never my fault.
That's
All right, cool. So we've got the dash ability now. And the dash ability actually shares a mana pool with our launch ability. So one of the key things in speedrunning is learning when you can dash and when you need to save mana in order to launch. So here we're going to see Artie again. Artie's the janitor. He's a wonderful Finnish man who basically speaks in Finnish colloquialisms, so he can be very, very hard to understand sometimes. But he knows a lot. He knows a lot about what's going on. And he's sent us to do some menial maintenance tasks. Here I'm going to try another little skip. Missed it. That's okay. We've got a backup. Basically, if I can fall into that section there while I'm dashing, I can skip this whole elevator ride. But we do have a backup there where I can just save, an extra second by just jumping off the elevator before it is my time. You can't actually jump while you're on an elevator, and that will become relevant a little bit later. So now we're going to use all my dashes and go meet Arish. So Arish is our security chief. He's telling us basically that everything's gone to hell, and we agreeing to help him save some of his soldiers. We're going to take another little control point here because we're going to use this for a fast travel point in a couple of minutes. And I'm also going to do a quick little safety level up, I think. So here we're going to dash across this gap here to save us a bit of time. Let my energy recharge because we're about to be introduced to the most annoying enemy in the whole game, the boomers. So the boomers they're a reasonably simple enemy in the sense that they just float towards you slowly. But when they do get close, they blow up and do an absolute massive amount of damage. So basically, I'm going to try and stand away from them, shoot them while they spawn slowly, and they don't make any other sound. So they can sneak up on you quite easily if you're not standing in the right position. This battery's going to fall. I'm going to grab it, throw it back in. got another little fight here that I'm going to try and get rid of as quickly as possible. I'm getting all these achievements pop up on the side of my screen, and it's been so long since I've actually gotten achievements in this game. It's really, really exciting. All right, there we go. There we go. All right. So we're going to do another control point here, because again, this is going to be one that we teleport to a little bit later in the game. This is kind of the first area where that good mod can drop, the headshot energy recharge. So it's unfortunate that we didn't get it, but that's all right. There's still plenty of time. The real mods that we want to see drop, or the real upgrades that we want to see, are the energy increase, which is our mana pool, headshot boost, which we did already get, which is super exciting, and the headshot energy recharge. So here we're going to dash around here to cut through this little area. We're going to jump down here, and here we're going to try and do this puzzle as quickly as possible so that enemies don't spawn. We're going to Keegan Murray that across the map, snap that in there, and then we're going to run off without actually having to fight any of these enemies, which is awesome. We've got one last battery to put in, but then it's the mission still isn't finished, as we have to shoot a giant clog in its nipples. So this clog here is what I imagine it looks like after GL Phoenix takes a shower with all that hair. I imagine that the shower drain looks very much like this. So this is another sentient clog that we are trying to get rid of as quickly as we possibly can. He will come back. It will come back a little bit later. Just we've got to get rid of it here so that we can progress. And I reckon this is another great time for some messages if you've got any, JK.
I do have a few donations here.
Let's go for it.
Right, I have $10 from, I'm going to try and pronounce this. I think it's Racle, R-A-H-C-L-E.
Ah, Rachel.
Rachel, okay, there we go. We love Denise. Cass is fine, I guess.
Thanks, Rach.
$20 from Spotless Colt. Cheering you on from the crowd. Best of luck. And then finally, we had $10 from Aranthus, which is the next runner, by the way. Can we get a round of applause for the true hero of this run? The setting screen!
Yay!
No, you spent too much time there.
Please put this towards Black Spyro. Will do.
All right, cool. So Colt and Rach are two members of my community, my Twitch community, who are absolutely wonderful people. And I didn't actually know Colt was going to be here, so I'm super excited to go see him afterwards. But now we're on to the second mission for Artie. This one we have to do energy converters. And what I'm doing there is I'm specifically timing my movement so that that screen does a little shake way earlier. Because that is going to stop that battery from falling out of place and stopping me from having to do a fight. So here we're just going to avoid as many enemies as we can, try and get these batteries into their battery sockets really fast, and then move on. So I did it bad. There we go. There we go. All right. So unfortunately, the auto lock-on for the launch ability can be really finicky sometimes. Sometimes it locks onto enemies. Sometimes it locks onto what you actually want it to lock onto. And you never really get to decide. You sort of just have to wing it. Oh, I nearly died just there. Here we're going to call an elevator. And remember 6 minutes ago when I said to remember me shooting down those guys? This is the room. Had we not shot them down, they would still be in here hovering, and they would fall down and we'd have to fight them. And they're pretty strong, so by shooting them, they fall down early and then they despawn while we're off doing the rest of our stuff. So we never actually have to fight them, so that clears this room out super quickly. And that elevator that I just called, for seemingly no reason, that will also become relevant in about 20 minutes. So I know that I keep giving you guys heaps of homework, but just remember that as well. And now again, we're going back to Emily. We're going to go see our friend Emily. She's going to give us another mission. We have now lifted the internal lockdown on the Federal Bureau so that we can actually get to other areas of the game, and one of which is going to be the research department, I think. I can't remember what they're called. I just remember where their position is on the map. I'm pretty sure it's the research department.
I think it is too.
And then we're going to go meet Marshall. So Marshall is our next character. One downside of having to do quit-outs is we do have to stare at this screen a little bit, but that's okay. It's so weird running with standard Jesse on. For leaderboard purposes, we do actually have to run with standard Jessie. We can't run with any of the included outfits, like asynchronous or gold suit or anything like that, simply because it affects the RNG drop. So using any of those outfits, we can guarantee which mods we're going to get at which time. But using standard, it's completely random, so that's kind of exciting. Here we're going to level up our launch ability all the way to 5, and you'll see a sort of, what do you call it, a pattern here, where launch is our primary damage source. We really only shoot enemies while we're waiting for launch to refill. The general sort of progress of damage is launch at an enemy until you've got a tiny slither of energy left, then unload your gun. By that stage, the energy should have recharged and you can start launching again. As Mum mentioned earlier, we do have shielded enemies who will only get damaged by launch attacks or melee attacks or any sort of kinetic attack. But here we have our research department. Here I'm taking a very specific line through this section here, as it will manipulate where the enemies spawn in the next section. And this is where we get introduced to snipers. Snipers will one-shot me, or at least drop me down to 1 health if they hit me. So I've got to be really, really specific about how I tackle this area. So I shoot down these things, and there we go. Cool, good. Didn't get shot, which is awesome. And this is if I get shot there and fall to 1 health, this next room becomes incredibly difficult. But because I've got a little bit of health, we should be okay. This is going to be another spawn manipulation coming up here, where I'm going to not walk up these stairs, because if I walk up these stairs, enemies start spawning behind me. But by standing down here and killing them from here, the downside is I don't get any health. The enemies drop health themselves, so I don't get any health. I've just ran out of ammo and energy. That was really bad. Resource management. That guy's got a rocket launcher. Oh, that guy's got a rocket launcher too. My goodness. All right, this is not going great. Oh! That's $10 for Cure Cancer. That was intentional, so I could donate money. Yeah. So
It should have been $50 for the kill and $10 for the not kill. You should have done it.
What,
so you
$10 every time I did a fight and not died? How much money do you want to lend me for this?
Oh, I thought I was getting paid.
All right, I'm actually not sure where that's going to put me back. It's been a very long time since I've died for that fight, so hopefully... Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad.
They didn't have rocket launchers last time.
No, they did. I think I just killed them faster last time.
Right.
So that's okay. I think in our last practice I died 4 times. But it had been a while since I'd practiced this run, so... but that's okay, because now, look, we only have to go back and start that fight again. So we've only really lost about, 30 seconds plus whatever that load time just was. And once the fights despawn, like they did, the snipers despawned once I entered this section, they won't respawn again. So I do just get to have a bit of a free run through here. This room is really yellow now. There we go. That was a weird color spectrum. Oh, and I will give you guys a heads up as well. There are a few sections where photosensitivity warnings are in place, but I will give you a heads up before they happen, and I'll do my best to give you an audio description of what's going on, so you're not missing out on too much of the run. It's only 1 time if I'm good and 2 times if I'm bad. So if I give you two photosensitivity warnings, you know something's gone wrong. All right, there we go. We did it much better that time. And this is the first of the photosensitivity warnings. So if you are sensitive to flashing lights, please look away for the next 30 seconds. I'll give you a rundown of what's happening. We're going to hit this button here, shoot this wall in an attempt to aggro an enemy that's in the next room. And then once we're in that room, it's a black ball of debris that is hissing and flashing lights and screaming at us. And it's really quite unpleasant. What we're going to do is we've got 2 batteries and 2 battery sockets. We're going to throw the batteries into the battery sockets and then hide in a little soundproofed room. We're going to bait the enemy into the room and then dash out past it, hit the button that will lock it in the room. Perfect. And you may now look back. The flashing is over. So that is the hiss cluster. We don't see too many of them, thankfully. But here we have the hiss ball, which is a shaman enemy of sorts that will heal every enemy in the area unless we can. There's an ability later in the game where you can like turn an enemy to your side. Oh, these guys have activated. There we go. Okay, we're good. Where you can turn an enemy to your side and it will heal you instead, but that ability is really far out of the way, so we're not going to pick it up. And here we've got a whole bunch of enemies up here, so we're going to go bowling. Oh, that's not a very good... I was never good at bowling. All right, and we're going to go here. There's a bunch of enemies downstairs, and they can often hide, but there's also a bunch upstairs that I actually need to take. Oh, there we go. He's gone. He's gone. All right, here we're going to... Game, please. There we go. Just another little bug mantle. We're going to jump across here. And do you want to explain pull-throughs for us, Mark?
I will. So here we're going to try a neat little damage trick called a pull-through. So when you pick up an object to launch, it immediately has collision. So Cass is going to try and use this to his advantage by pulling it through the enemy first, which will do damage, and then launch it at the enemy, effectively doubling the damage for the same energy cost.
I actually got one too.
I was just going to say,
awesome.
did
That's
it work?
Awesome. Yeah.
Because I can't read and watch at the same time.
And
So
there's a launch efficiency upgrade, which is super useful as a backup mod. It'll now make... Oh, I got a dash of... See, this is the downside of speedrunning this game, is half the time you pick up mods and you don't even realize. So I got a dash efficiency mod, which will reduce the cost of my dash, effectively meaning I can now dash more times, which is super, super handy. That'll couple with a couple of other mods that I get guaranteed later as part of the quests. Because you do get mods for as quest rewards as well. And the whole reason that I leveled up to launch 5 earlier is just for that hiss ball, which is the healing shaman ball that I pointed out. It will die to 2 launches if I'm at launch level 5. Otherwise, they can just be an absolute nuisance to deal with, as they will. There we go. As they will move, and they move very rapidly and very erratically, and it's just an absolute pain to deal with unless you can kill them super quickly. We're going to see another one coming up super soon, but here we're just taking our last wave of enemies while we wait for this elevator to spawn. This is my favorite elevator in the game because it moves sideways. Kind of like that. What's the Wonka Vader? Was it the Wonka Vader that could go in any direction? Yeah. So, and it's going to open us up to the Central Research Lab, which is where Marshall, who is the... I actually know what her title is, but basically she carries a big gun, and all her employees carry big guns. And she's like tactical response, I guess you'd call it, because in a world where you're dealing with multi-dimensional thresholds and rifts, you have to have people with big guns. So here we are going to have another big boss fight, or big enemy fight. There we go. The ball just ran away from me, so I've got to try and... There we go. It's dead. So you always got to take out the hiss balls first, because they will just heal everything so much faster than you can deal damage to them, provided that you don't one-shot them. Luckily, our launch does one-shot a bunch of enemies, so if I can line them all up really well, we can do it super quickly, but very rarely do they line up, as the enemy AI is usually pretty clever here. Like, they will, as you can see, take cover, shoot rockets at you. And I do have my own team here that I'm going to try and keep alive as well. They don't really help a great deal, but the boss that we're about to encounter is one of the major differences between current patch, which is the version we're running on, and Legacy, which I'll get Mum to explain that when we get to it. But right now, I've just got a couple of boomers I got to take care of. These are the things that will kill my friends if they get too close, because the enemy AI is smart, but it doesn't understand to not stand near things that go boom. So I've just got to pay attention. There we go. All right, cool. We should be fine.
Only just.
Only just. Look at that, so close. So here we have the next enemy, whose name I have forgotten. Wait, it's going to appear in a second. Chief Lewis. So do you want to talk about this fight?
Is this the differences from the current patch to Legacy patch while Josh concentrates? So this fight is one of the major differences between the old patch and the current patch categories. So on current patch, this guy's shield has been buffed, meaning it takes 2 launches to break before you can start shooting him. This means the pull-through that we spoke about earlier is very important to kill him as fast as possible.
And I just took so much damage, it's not even funny. Oh, and he's done it again. Oh, okay. Ooh, that was close. Yeah, you can clap for that.
Yeah. he likes to make it exciting.
You shouldn't need to clap for that, because that's really not that hard of a fight, but, That's what happens when you're not on your home
It was a
setup.
charity clap.
It was a charity. So we are here raising money for charity. So raising money for charity and raising claps for my ego. But all right, we're on our way now to probably the most famous puzzle, I think, in this game. It's a story I always like to tell ever since I started speedrunning this game. Then on my casual playthrough, this particular puzzle that we're about to do actually took me longer than it now takes me to beat the entirety of the game. Thankfully, like all the puzzles in this game, the solution is always the same, so it's very easy to do. That wasn't the puzzle, by the way. That one's really easy. But this puzzle here, which I'm sure if you played this game, you know this puzzle. Basically, we're given 5 punch cards and 5 terminals, and we have to figure out which punch card goes in which terminal based off a bunch of symbols that are written on whiteboards. But it doesn't tell us which symbol is which terminal. It tells us which symbols do not belong in each terminal, and through the process of elimination, we're supposed to figure it out. Thankfully, Ash, who is another runner of this game, did an incredible job routing out exactly which cards we pick up in which order and which terminals we visit in which order. So now, it's not impossible to stuff up, but it's very hard to stuff up. So I'm just going to grab this one here, and just while I'm finishing this off, JK, do you have any messages for us?
I do.
Oh.
Okay. $20 from, I think it's Wrecked.
Wreck It?
Yeah, Wreck It. Yep, that sounds about right. Classic Cass. First run of the day is always a little scuffed. Always love a good marathon. And always love seeing my favourite runner. Thanks, King. $10 from Richie. No comment. And then we had $20 from Jesse Spanner. If you beat this in under 90 minutes, I will play Alan Wake.
Oh! Now I'm really like, I mean, that was my estimate, so like I was already planning on it, but now it's important that I do that.
I just had to check the time.
Yeah, what are we at?
35.
All right,
Yeah.
Cool.
Come on, Josh.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Also, shout out to Jesse and to Wreck It. Jesse's, can I see Jesse through the, yeah, I can see Jesse through the monitors. And Wreck It tuning in all the way from Washington, I think. I don't know.
Very cool.
All right, here we're going to level up again. We're going to go 2 energy, 1 health, and we're going to fast travel back to Central Executive. So now we're heading off to Blackrock Quarry. This is where the run sort of kicks in a bit more in terms of movement. It becomes a lot more important. And in order to sort of understand how the dash works, it's not really an ability you can spam. There is a very, very minor, almost like a soft cooldown for it. So it's much more of a rhythmic pressing. And there's quite a few areas throughout the whole run. You see a lot of it here, where if I stuff up the button pressing and drop an input, I will fall to my death. So I have to take a safety save here just to be certain. You can't, unfortunately, dash while you're in Central Executive, so I do just have to run the old-fashioned way here. But we're going to activate this, go to the maintenance sector, and we're off to collect a black rock sample, which is the rock that we just had in the HRA research lab that if we had watched the cutscene, you would have seen explode when we tried to use it. But unfortunately, we've got to go collect more samples. Oh my goodness, look at this. I've just had coffee delivered.
Coffee delivery. I take back whatever I said about my daughter.
Huge shout out. Can we get a round of applause for my little sister who just got accepted into university?
Yay.
She is going to kill me for that. Actually, no, I might lift home, so she needs to stay on my good side. All right, so here we've got another little puzzle skip here. We're supposed to be moving these batteries around to different battery sockets, but instead we're just going to dash. Oh, I almost died. We're just going to dash and avoid that entire start part of the puzzle, and then try and do this one without stuffing up and without falling down, which we did. Fantastic. So grab this one, put it in this battery socket. Game. Thank you. There we go. And we're back to the Ocean View Motel and Casino. So this puzzle is a little bit different. This one is more of a spot the difference puzzle. So difference between rooms. We can't get into room 3. Room 1 and room 2 have 3 different features, and we need to fix those 3 features. So we need to switch this radio to the other side, straighten this painting, and move this vase to the other side, which will automatically open up room 3, allow us to get in there, get the keys, and then back we can get. On the topic of Alan Wake, which Jesse just referred to, fun fact for those of you who have played some Remedy games, but not as much as me, this door here leads to the Alan Wake universe. And through many of the little collectibles and stuff. And if you've played the DLC, there are a lot more links to it. But here's one of the fall to my death sequences if I don't dash properly. But I did, so no, you don't get to see it this time. Yeah, thank you. You guys are great. And this is my favorite section of the whole run. This movement feels really satisfying to pull off every single time, where it's just like a bunch of dashes through really tight corridors and then random little speed boosts that you get going through windows and stuff. And this is called the Atlas Room. This is one of the harder rooms, especially for new runners. Mum, do you want to explain the Atlas Room
while he concentrates? Okay, so the room is the first really challenging room in regards to resource management. So there are a mix of shielded and non-shielded enemies, and Kaz is going to try and make sure he's always using his launch ability on the shielded enemies to break them, and then shoot the unshielded enemies while his energy refills. Should I have read that slower?
No, that was perfect. That was well done. Well done.
You got through? Good.
There's one more enemy left. There he is. There he is. Right, cool. Cool. That actually went pretty well. That
good
can go
job.
really, really poorly. And well, hell, you just have to keep talking, aren't you? Because we're coming up on the
distorted.
Oh yeah.
Cool. So tell them about that.
Nah, not
yet.
We'll wait
Okay.
till we're actually
All
there.
right.
We'll wait till
Cool.
we're actually there. So
I'll have a sip of my coffee.
yeah, good idea. So one of the, I said before that the boomers are the most annoying enemy. Definitely overall, but individually, I would say that the Hiss Distorted can be really, really frustrating from a speed run perspective, as they have the ability to turn invisible if you don't kill them quick enough. Thankfully, we only see 3 throughout the entirety of the run, and for 2 of them, we do have quick kills. So they're not bosses, and thankfully, there isn't a boss of this particular enemy. But basically, do you want to talk Hiss Distorted while I try and do it?
Okay, so we have another vital use of the pull-through. So the Distorted has a lot of health,
Go.
and
Keep going.
will
I'll do quick for you.
will usually go invisible after a few seconds or so. But by using the pull-through, we can double out damage output and get a quick kill on them before they manage to disappear. I should have read
That was
quicker.
literally perfect. I got the perfect quick kill there, so there was
That's
no
good.
chance you were getting
Good
that off.
job.
Thank
Good
you, proud of me?
Very proud of you.
thanks.
Very proud.
Thanks.
I'll forgive you for dying earlier on now.
It's fine. It's all for charity, right?
That's right. No, you can't die for charity. That's
Well,
not.
you can if you're raising money. All right, now I'm going to quickly fast travel back to the NSC control room. Those of you who are paying attention will remember about 20 minutes ago I said to remember an elevator that I was triggering and would become relevant 20 minutes ago. We're now going to take that elevator. So that elevator has about a 30-second travel time. So by calling it earlier, it will stay persistent where we were. So it's already at this room rather than have to press the button, wait for it to come up. We've pressed it already, buggered off, done a whole bunch of other stuff, and now we're back ready to go. So this is where we are entering the actual quarry. Oh, actually not quite yet. We've got a few more rooms. I always forget which way the exit is. So this is where I'm going to take a safety save, just to make sure I don't fall to my death here, because if I do, it's about a 3-minute run back. And I want to be worthy of your claps, you know. So we've got a little taste of it here. 1, 2, perfect. Now I'm not going to dash here because I depending on what my pickups have been throughout the run, it will determine whether or not I have enough energy to actually do this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Fantastic. And here we've got what's called the Leap of Faith. There are 2 leaps of faith in the game. And I've got to be very careful to dash at just the right time to cancel my fall speed, which will allow me to not die as I fall down that shaft. There's one more of those later on. They are probably the points where I die at the most, mostly because my ego just kicks in and I'm like, I don't need to dash yet, and then I hit the ground. But here we're heading to Black Rock Quarry, which is a fan favorite section of the game. It's one of the most beautiful looking areas in the whole game. It has probably the most beautiful skybox, and it's the only time where you're actually outside. So we're going to come up on it here, ignore all the enemies. Again, I need to try and keep my energy sort of filled here, so I don't want to dash too much, but there's a couple of shortcuts I can take that will help. So here we have a very, very beautiful area where there are a lot of enemies and another little battery puzzle that can be really, really finicky as you kind of, where the lock on, once you launch, you kind of get a reticle that shows you where it's going to fly to. You see the little diamond there that says, hey, yep, this is where you're about to launch it at. We don't get that for the last one, so we kind of just have to hope. And as you just saw it go absolutely nowhere, that didn't work. So, and then we've got a couple of his here, 2 of which have rocket launchers, so we just take a quick chance to take them out. Because after we finish the... oh no, they've spawned in a really dangerous spot. So we get the actual quest item here, but we can't teleport out straight away, and we're still able to take damage. There we go. We have to wait for the next bit of quest text to pop up before we can actually progress and quit out back to the main menu. So we've got a bit of Blackrock now. We're heading back to see Marshall, and this is where the game starts to get kinda hard. So on my live split at home, this split is called Probably Dies Here, because this is the section where I'm most likely to die in.
Don't die again.
I'll have the counter ready.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that, JK. Appreciate that, JK. How excited are you for me to be able to add things to that counter?
Maybe a little.
Yeah,
Maybe a little.
For charity, right? For charity.
Sure.
But by all means, if you've got some messages, throw them our way.
Cool. I do have two donations at this current minute. We have a $10 donation from Ella. I got up at 5 a.m. just to witness Denise absolutely slay at commentary, even despite the unexpected category change to controls %. Cass, please.
That's my girlfriend. It's 5 a.m. for her right now, so...
And then we also had a $10 donation from Durries. Keep up the banter, Mama Cass.
Who's that?
I have no idea. I'm just going to give you a heads up. We are currently sitting at about $14,531 in total donations over this past weekend.
Oh,
we are less than $500 away from hitting $15,000.
That is amazing.
Oh my God.
So please keep it going.
Yes, definitely a clap.
I believe the previous highest we raised at ASAP was like 8,000, wasn't it?
Yeah,
We're almost double that. That's
we're
awesome.
almost double that. We want to keep it going.
That is awesome. All right, cool. So we are now off to the containment sector. The containment sector is where all of the cool objects of power are stored. And for those of you who have played the game before and know what's coming up, I'm sorry, we don't try to save Philip. He unfortunately has to remain on fridge duty. And for those of you who haven't played Control, I'm not going to give any context to that. You should go play Control. So I'm just going to quickly take out these guys here. And this is where I would normally sing the level up song, because it is vitally important that I level up at this control point. But thankfully, me telling you about the level up song has saved me having to actually sing the level up song. Because sometimes I still forget. But it's very important that I level up to launch 6 here, as we are about to approach probably the hardest boss in the game. And being launch level 6 just makes him a hell of a lot easier. So we're going to go to launch level 6. I didn't forget. I did just unlock a new personal mod, though, so we're going to equip a launch. When did I get that? Okay, you know how I said earlier that sometimes you just pick up mods and you don't realize? So I've had the best mod in the game for a while and I just didn't realize. So now we have that equipped, which is going to be great because that's going to make things go a hell of a lot faster. But here we're just going to quickly dash through. Do you keep looking at yourself on camera?
No. Oh, I forgot about that bit. I'm looking at the time. 46
If
minutes.
you need a time, I can always read it out to you.
Oh, yeah.
Nah, give us something to do.
Yeah, I'm stretching. I'm old, you know.
All right, so here I'm going to take some intentional damage from these guys here, because that will put me in the combat state. And what I want to do is I want to stay in the combat state for as long as possible, as similar to the way I can't dash when I'm in Central Executive, I can't dash when I'm in the Ocean View Motel and Casino, unless I'm in the combat state. So if I can maintain the combat state all the way through here up until I enter the casino, also jump scare. There you go. You're welcome, those of you with nerves of butter. I didn't do it properly, but that's okay. If I can maintain combat state all the way up through that section, I actually get to dash while I'm in here. And it doesn't save a massive amount of time. But again, another Ocean View Motel and Casino puzzle. This one has an upside-down painting. Room 1 is actually upside down, and we cannot reach the keys that are on the desk on the ceiling. So we're going to flip that painting, which then flips room 1. We can run in, get the keys, and off we go. So we're going to see the Ocean View 2 more times, I believe, maybe 3. And it doesn't really give you any hints when you go into the Ocean View for the first time. The only hint you actually get is it says on one of the signs, the law of 3 applies. And that is supposed to be a hint that tells you, hey, if you have to click something, try clicking it 3 times and then something might happen. So here we are at the Panopticon. So the Panopticon is the prison, I guess you'd say, of the area, where it houses all of the objects. We've got another little skip here that is an unintended way of getting around this section. It allows us to just skip a whole bunch of fights. And I didn't stuff it up, and that's fantastic.
Yay.
So we're going to hit here, we're going to go up.
Something went wrong with the Bureau's plan.
And this is where we get a bit of a break. Because it's a nice sort of 20-second elevator ride. We get to admire the outfit. Normally I have Jessie in a trans rights top that I've modded in. So it's weird seeing her in her regular black top.
Her biker gear.
Yeah, her biker gear. And now if I could get everybody both in chat and here to, on the count of 3, say hi Bob. 1, 2, 3.
Hi, Bob.
So that was Bob. He's
Oh.
the elevator operator. He just hangs out there and then he buggers off.
Oh.
Named by the wonderful Nico with a C, so shout out to Nico. If this is something that any of you want to learn how to do, there is an incredible tutorial on YouTube that teaches you this exact category. It's a few years old, but it is still completely relevant to the actual run itself. Made by the wonderful Nico with a C, who's a very dear friend of mine. And honestly, it's such an incredibly made tutorial. And the control community as a whole is so welcoming and so supportive, and they will happily help you with anything that you struggle with. And there are we have so many different category extensions as well. So, if you are a bit more of a glitch fiend, we do have, the out of bounds categories, which are super fun to see how much you can break a Remedy game. Because for all of their incredible high fidelity, it can be quite satisfying to break something that's so well built. But here we've touched one of the most powerful objects, which is the Benikoff TV. And this is sort of one of the best. This is the only cutscene we can't really skip through, which is kind of good because it is also one of the most beautiful cutscenes, I think, in the game. But this is going to lead us to Salvador. So Salvador is a boss that can be quite problematic. He himself is not too hard, but this is really where we get to the point in the game where we're vastly underleveled. So the levels go all the way up to level 30, and I believe we finished the game at level 6. And I think right now we're only level 5, maybe even less. But so Salvador himself, who's the one in the middle, is not really that much of a problem, but his ads are. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up an item here. We're going to wait till he drops. He's dropped. We're going to kill both of those guys with one launch. We're going to take out the shielded ones first, and I'm going to hide behind this pillar so that Salvador can't hit me while I take out all his ads. So his ads are the real problem here because they will just sneak up on you while Salvador's trying to deal damage to you. And can be really, really problematic. So I've just got to make sure that I've always got the pillar between myself and Salvador. All right, his ads are all dead now, so I'm going to run around here. I have no energy. That's really bad. There we go. So basically, I can kind of just keep him staggered now as long as I can keep managing to do the pull-throughs. He takes 2 launches, just like Lewis did to break his shield. And so as long as I don't stuff up my energy management, I can always keep him staggered. As every single time I break his shield, he will lose. He'll stagger. So I can basically just make sure he never gets a hit off. And make our way through that way. And because we picked up that headshot energy renewal mod, even with shielded enemies, it does not matter that they are shielded and my bullets do no damage. If I headshot them, I will still get the energy renewal. So it still triggers the headshot, even if I'm not doing damage to them. Here we've got another little unintended skip that will get us across this entire map without having to actually traverse it properly. I hope I've just done it right. I have dodge efficiency, so this should be fine. Look at that. But anyway, we touched the TV, and now we have the ability to fly. Or as the game calls it, the babysitter, which I think is more of a commentary on, the iPad generation. But great. So that was Salvador. That was the hardest boss, which is really, really good. Not the hardest part, but definitely the hardest boss. So we're going to quit the menu here so we can teleport back to the control point that we just activated. And this is where we're going to get to, I mentioned at the start, that we have infiltrated the Federal Bureau of Control. The main reason we have done this is to try and find our brother Dylan. Dylan was taken, this is all revealed in the first couple of minutes. Dylan was taken from us at a very young age due to a very traumatic experience that happened in our childhood involving a slide projector and a dumpster. A dump site. A tip, if you will, in Australia. So we escaped unscathed, but unfortunately Dylan did not. So here we're going to levitate up, dash into this little triangle, and then levitate up again. So once you levitate to your max height, you cannot increase distance again until you land on the ground. Thankfully, there's a little girder there that just sticks out a tiny bit that will trigger Jesse's collision with the ground once and allows us to do a double levitate, which allows us to skip through having to run out and around and take another elevator. We just get to skip straight up. There we found. You know what? I'm not gonna explain what we see just there. I can literally. Can you stay off your phone, please? While you're.
Georgia
I
just
swear,
said.
this generation and their Facebooks.
Georgia just said she donated. Yay,
Aw.
George.
All right, well, let's pass it across to JK, see if that donation has come through.
It did actually go through. $19 from Georgia. Can't believe you died, and I missed it.
Oh, true, you're up getting this coffee.
Yeah, and then we also had a $20 donation from Brianna. No comment.
Well, thank you guys
I should
so
also,
much.
can I make the mention of
You can talk about
that we are donating for Game on Cancer let me bring up.
Yeah, get your spiel done.
Let me
Get
get
done.
me spiel
This
done.
is the
Spiel.
cutscene that normally takes
Yeah.
3.5 minutes, so this is actually such a perfect time
Okay,
as well.
right. We are raising money for Game on Cancer, a charity which funds early career cancer researchers who are working across all areas of cancer research. If you would like to donate, you can donate at donate.ausspeedruns.com. That is donate.ausspeedruns.com. I'll also be linked in the chat. And also, if you have physical cash, you can also donate it to the table to the side. We are less than $400 away
That's
from
so exciting.
that $16,000.
That is so exciting. Wait, from 16,000?
Well, no.
Oh.
My brain is going.
Oh, JK, don't do that to me.
I don't know what I'm doing right now.
14.
That's
Apparently-
fine, mate. It's late on a Sunday.
Yeah, late on a Sunday. I should say 15,000.
Sunday.
There we go.
Did
Sunday
you just say
afternoon.
Sunday?
I did that intentionally.
I thought so.
Trying to really
I taught you
harness the
better than that.
Australianism.
Yeah.
Just wait for me to bring out the up the doggies.
And then I should also make mention we do have one more bid war going on. It's for the very last game of ASAP, being Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. Spyro's colour, green is in front with $294. Black is behind at $260. Pink, $60.70. Very specific. Red, yellow, and blue, and purple are all at $0. If you want to see any of those go in front, make sure to add it to your donation in the comments.
All right, so now we are off to investigate the Prime Candidate Program. What that means for us is we are hit with back-to-back 3 of the hardest fights in the entirety of the game. So we're going to try and do our absolute best here. I'll probably do them a little bit slower than I would normally try to do in say, a PB attempt. I'm going to, first of all, kill this guy, which normally doesn't happen, but he has snuck up on me and killed me a whole number of times. But here we've got a Salvador enemy, a whole bunch of Tomasis, a bunch of flying boomers, which the only thing worse than a boomer is a flying boomer, and a hiss ball. So there's the flying Tomasi. He's dead. That's brilliant. I'm going to leave this guy alive while I go up and try and find this hiss ball. You just saw it zip past there like Sonic. We're just going to launch. Oh, look at that. It just went straight down. Amazing. So this is actually going incredibly well. I don't think I've ever had a room go this smoothly before.
It's because I'm sitting next to him.
Here. Absolutely. This is the one I died to twice while we're in practice.
Yeah.
Oh, and I just threw that into a wall. As brilliant as the launch mechanic is in this game, it can sometimes be really, really finicky, as you don't always get to decide what it is that you pick up and launch, and sometimes it'll just get stuck on a piece of other terrain, and you're just standing there with Jessie with her hand held out waiting for it to arrive to you, and it just never does. It's like Australia Post. So we're just going to avoid this boomer while we just keep throwing tables at Salvador, kill this last boomer, and this should be... Nope, there's another enemy. There he is. I think that should be all of them. Yeah, that was so smooth. Love that. And just because I gave an Alan Wake reference earlier, for those of you who are fans of the more obscure Remedy titles, we also have a Quantum Break reference just here. This is Courtney Hope's character from Control, being Jessie, talking to Courtney Hope's character from Quantum Break. And those of you who like really obscure references, there is also a reference to the Max Payne universe. But that is super out of the way, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to go all that way just to show you that. Oh, there we go. This is another little jump scare that they normally throw. There's a boomer inside this elevator, but thankfully the dash has iframe, so I'm going to melee him once to kill him, and then dash through his explosion. And then hopefully these guys won't shoot me through the elevator. They didn't. We're good. Now I just got to hope that sometimes one of them can land on the top of the elevator and come out down here. The problem being is that he doesn't actually appear until after I've activated the control point, and then he just kills me while I'm waiting for the control point to activate, and there's nothing I can do about it. So here's hoping that doesn't happen as well. I have no control over that if it does, but I have lost a number of runs to it. This is another one of the really, really hard fights, just because you can get so overwhelmed with boomers and rocket launchers and shielded enemies here. I've got myself backed into a corner, so it's going to melee that guy, stun him. Oh my goodness.
Coming from everywhere.
Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. I think we're good. Punch that guy once. Okay, we're good. We're good. As long as this guy doesn't come down the stairs or come down the elevator shaft, which I think we are safe. No, we're good. We're good. All right, awesome. So you can still take damage while you're in a cutscene, and there are many areas where if you don't kill all the enemies, or if something glitches out, for example, and the guy comes down from upstairs, he will just kill you while that cutscene is playing out. But here we've got a giant turntable that we're looking to try and rotate around, but is being blocked by some weird sort of growths on the tracks. Thankfully, the only ones we do need to kill are the growths, so we're just going to kill all them, head up, hit a button, which gives us a couple of seconds to run down and investigate a pickup that we otherwise wouldn't get on the run. So I'm going to hit that button while that very slowly turns around. Drop down here. Going to go over to this chest. We're going to hope we get something good. Oh, we did indeed get something good. So we got an energy boost, which is great. Which is going to mean I can be a bit more liberal a little bit later. And now we have a very important part of the run. I'm going to try and flip this mug. It fell off the table. Hey!
Sorry, I was supposed to dab.
There we go. There we go.
I forgot. I was so excited about him getting it. I forgot that was the cue.
First time I've gotten that outside of practice. And you only get 3 shots because on the third, after 3 shots, it just explodes on the next shot. But here we've got another one of the His Distorted that hopefully I'm going to kill before it turns invisible. Oh, no. Okay, so now I've just got to pay attention to where the air is distorted so I can just shoot at it and hopefully hit it. There we go. Perfect. So that actually went really, really well. So now I've only got 1 more His Distorted to deal with, and when I do encounter it, I'll be super, super overpowered. Here we've got another long shot there, another little battery puzzle just to activate this elevator. I'm going to switch the camera over to this side, grab this, that's a fire extinguisher, grab this battery. All right, we're good. We are good. Okay, whew, I thought I got stuck in the roof just then. That wouldn't be the first time. Would make this an invalid run, though, because then we would have been out of bounds. Ah,
okay. I did wonder where was out of bounds.
Oh, yeah, we don't do it here. We don't do it. This is the inbounds run, Mum.
Yeah, okay. I knew that.
There we go. All right, cool. So now we're off to the hardest fight of the entire run. It is a recreation of the dumpster where Jessie and her brother first encountered the evil, I suppose you would say, without giving too much away. I am going to take a safety control point right beforehand, because if I die, I get put all the way back to where that security checkpoint was earlier. So we're just going to take a little bit of extra time, take out these guys, hit this control point so that if I die, I only come back to here instead. We do also have alternate weapons of the service weapon, so we can get a machine gun version, a sniper version, and a shotgun version. Unfortunately, we do not have the we do not get the materials required to upgrade the weapon on the run. We can if we're kind of lucky, but there we go. All right, so this guy here is one of our the second time we've actually encountered a grenade launcher enemy. As long as we stay in the air, he shouldn't be able to do too much damage to us, as his grenades do need to be on ground in order to blow up. And because we've got the headshot energy renewal, we're going to be able to hopefully keep him pretty permanently staggered. Oh, that's a grenade. And his grenades will drop you to 1 health, and he always fires multiple of them. So if I'm not very careful, 1 grenade will drop me to 1 health, and the other one will kill me. But he's dead now, so that's great. And now we're on to the actual dumpster fight itself. I probably talked about the dumpster fight too early. I forgot that we actually had to do that fight as well. But here, we've got... Did I give you notes on the dumpster fight? I did.
No.
I did. That's okay. I'm just going to keep talking. I've written dumpster
you
fight
had the
as a
heading, and
but
then
yeah,
you didn't do
give you any
anything.
notes.
I was
Okay,
just going to
cool.
make it up.
Nah, it's fine. So here we've got another his ball. Again, I'm going to take it out first and foremost, and I'm going to stand on this pillar here to try and take out as many of these boomers as I possibly can. We're going to have a few other enemies spawn over the back here, so I'm going to take them out while I wait. I'm going to try and recharge some energy here. So this is the most important part where energy management matters. Because as you can see, there are grenade launcher enemies, there are the hiss balls. I'm going to have some Tomasi enemies soon. Tomasi's with shields as well. So I've just got to kill the boomers, kill the shield guys, wait for my energy to recharge. I'm going to shoot at him again. Same strategy as when we fought the boss Tomasi. Shoot at him until he dodges and then just throw chairs at him. Unfortunately, I don't have enough to kill him in one cycle. So I then need to do that again.
Sorry.
It's alright, he just needs to dodge. He just needs to dodge. Why aren't you dodging? Okay, he's dead. He's dead. He's dead. Alright, so the boomers can't actually hit me. So they just all kind of bunch up down the bottom here. And now I'm on a bit of a timer just until the last enemy spawns, who, again, would also dodge if I didn't kill him as soon as he spawned. So that's the hardest room in the game done. And I didn't die. So, yes, you may clap for that.
I hold
Appreciate
my
that.
breath. It's like you're actually going to die for me. But I'm so glad it's just a game.
It's just a game. You're doing great.
It's very nerve-wracking.
How do you
Just
think I feel?
watching you, I know.
All right, so now we're pretty much getting towards the final act of the game. So we have investigated all the information that the FBC has on us. Yeah, what is that?
1 hour, 4 minutes.
1 hour, 4 minutes. Yeah, we should be under estimate. This is good. Oh, I wasn't expecting to be here. I forgot that I took the safety save. So we're going to level up our abilities here. We're going to quickly fast travel back to Central Research. Don't do that on camera.
I forgot you guys could see me. I was doing it to her. Sorry.
You're fine. All right, so here we are going to go and investigate the... can't really talk about Dr. Darling, although we will see Dr. Darling. Dr. Darling is another character who's gone missing in the game, and part of our search has been to find him. So we're heading to his area. He was in charge of dimensional research. We still really don't know what's happened to him. We're hoping that Control 2 will reveal some of that. But here I've got a minigun. It's the same guy as the rocket launcher, except he has a minigun instead. And again, he can be a super big meme. And if I stuff up which I just did, if I stuff up my spawn manipulation here, things take a hell of a lot longer than they should. So the enemies have actually spawned all the way down here. So this is really bad, but that's okay. That's okay. They're just slow. Oh, they've spawned back up there. Okay, I might have just been able to save this, which is good, Oh, there they are. Okay, cool. We should be all right now. Oh, my goodness, except they keep throwing things forwards. All right. And that's the last one that's going to be any real problem to me. Oh, he dodged it. There we go. So as you can see, we're starting to get out leveled by the enemies. They're taking more and more shots and more launches to kill. And this is where we get to an area called the Ashtray Maze. Anyone who knows the game will know this is, without a doubt, the best part of the whole game. And this is the part where all of us are just going to be very, very... Well, not just yet, because we can't actually go through the Ashtray Maze. It's a winding labyrinth of impossible spaces. But we're going to activate this control point. Jesse says we can't get through, we need to contact the janitor. So now we're going to teleport to where the janitor is. Or at least where the janitor should be. I'm going to pass it back across to JK. This is all areas, so this is a lot of backtracking, and this is where the game's map design is actually really, really brilliant. The way the game sends us is like super roundabout way. We hit all these areas that we've never visited before, and there's lots of really strong enemies and lots of cool power-ups and pickups that you can get. We're not going to do any of that. We're going to go back through areas we've already been and just take a massive amount of shortcuts, which is super... lends itself so much to the incredible level design that is this game. But JK, while I'm doing all of that, do you want to hit us with some messages?
I do have a few, so I'm gonna start speedrun through it all.
Fantastic.
So we have $50 from Mike. Loving see something that took me 40 hours done in 1.5. We had $20 from Anonymous, no comment. We had $25 from Drenol. Loving this muchly, y'all, love heart. And then we had $30 from Mastodon. Put this donation towards Black Spyro, which that sits us less than $150 away from 15,000.
Also, I'm just going to put it out there. Green is the worst color, so Black Spyro is such a better option.
Black. If you want black, you only need to donate $5 right now to get it ahead. $5 is all that needs.
That's pretty close. I mean, honestly, I think purple is the best of the Spyro colors, and I know that's the default color, so that was what I put my money.
One thing I want to see is I want to see $15,000 by the end of this run.
Yes.
All right,
Can you all do that? I want you to do it.
All right, so here we're basically taken a massive shortcut and avoided everything that we needed to do, or everything that we were supposed to do, and we've got another trip to the Ocean View Motel and Casino. In this one, the clog from earlier is manifested in room 1, and we can't actually get in. But there's sort of an ongoing sort of side story that Artie and the clog, so the janitor and the clog, are arch enemies, and the clog really fears Artie. So what we do is Artie has a song called The Hero's Tango that he's always listening to in his headphones. So we tune all of the radios to Artie's favorite radio station. His favorite song just happens to be on, and when this room shakes, the clog has now disappeared. So in rooms 2 and 3, we turn on all the radios, the clog in room 1 disappears, we pick up the keys, and just to subvert everyone's expectations, rather than go through the same door we've gone through every single time, we go into the janitor's closet. Pull the light switch 3 times, as is the tradition, and then we're back in Black Rock Quarry. So this is where we were earlier, where we had to do that silly battery puzzle, but instead we're up on the higher levels here, and because we have the ability to levitate, which we did not have earlier, we're going to be able to dash. There's about a 1 in 10 chance that guy hits you, and I'm really lucky that we dodged it just then. Here we have our second and last leap of faith that I'm going to do very safely. And while I run over this way, I'm going to open up the stopwatch on my phone because I need to time 1 minute and 30 seconds from hitting this button. Oh, I forgot there was an enemy there. So 1 minute, 30 seconds starting now. There is an elevator or a gondola of sorts, I suppose, that slowly travels across this massive ravine, and wave after wave of enemies spawns on this side until the gondola reaches us. As I'm sure you could imagine, we're speedrunners, and the gondola does not move fast enough for us, so at the 30-second mark, I'm going to climb up on a ledge and do a huge jump. That, with a bit of luck, if I can dash in the correct manner, so here's the 30-second mark, I'm going to jump up here, dash across, I'm going to wait for my energy to recharge, I'm going to drop down here, and then... So there's the gondola, it's moving very slowly. 5, 6... And you'll remember earlier I said that you were unable to jump while you were on elevators. And this gondola counts as an elevator. 3, 4, 5. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to dash onto the elevator, onto the gondola itself, wait for my energy to recharge, dash, jump, and hold jump in order to levitate up in the air, which will give me enough height to finish dashing across the rest of this ravine. So this is all well and good. This skips probably 4 to 5 minutes of waiting. Which is really, really good. However, there is a trigger. I just missed that. That's fine. There is a trigger that is in the middle of that ravine that you would normally hit if you were on the gondola ride. I haven't hit that trigger because it was not there while I was on my way across. So here I'm going to jump out here. I saw a red light appear. That's my sign to go. I'm going to fly out to where the trigger is. We see the lighting change once, twice, and that is the trigger being hit. So now I can return. We see Hero's Tango appear in the bottom right corner. That tells me that I've hit it. And now we can progress on to the game. Before the gondola has even reached the other side, we have managed to clear the entire pit. And so now we're off to go and see Artie while he is on vacation. If your job tries to contact you while you're on vacation, just ignore it. Unless, I guess, there is an interdimensional, emergency that is happening. And now we actually get to see the ashtray maze in... Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to quit out there because I can just take this and this will be faster. So this is the part where neither myself, Mum, or JK are going to talk, and we are instead just going to enjoy my personal favorite moment in, I think, all of gaming history, the ashtray maze. So tech, if you want to crank up the game volume, go for it. And you can all just sit back and enjoy. Knew that was going to happen. That's okay. That just means we get more ashtray maze. I'm sorry for the rough end,
So
but that's
that's a
okay.
death counter?
That's a death counter.
Also, by the way, we hit $15,000.
Of course that had to happen in the one moment we weren't allowed to talk. Hey. No, that is awesome. Well done to everyone. That is nearly double what we have maxed out at in the past at
I'll have
ASAPs.
plenty of donations once you've done that.
All right, let's go.
Georgie died. He died.
Keep them rolling in, though.
Oh my goodness, okay. All right. Go for another couple of donations. I'm just giving you more time for donos.
Okay, I'll start reading out some of them. I've got $20 from Jolly
Do you need
Mac.
to concentrate?
Much love, Cass and Denise. Crank that volume for Ashtray Maze and take control. $20 from Bravada. When I can say the words, I'd like to put $6 of that $20 to Spyro and Green Hair. Just let me know if you want me to continue reading out donations.
I'll give you a lot more time in just a minute.
Okay, cool.
Don't die again.
I'm not gonna.
I'll take away your pocket money.
Okay, we got through that part. Okay, fantastic. Now the actual hard room is. So that's, you know, that was unfortunate. We've got another hiss ball here. There's the health. There's the health. My goodness. Okay. Okay, there we go. Oh my goodness. That was, without a doubt, everything that could have gone wrong that ashtray maze did go wrong. So that was poor.
Not good for your mother's
No,
heart, blood
not
pressure.
good for my heart. Oh my God. All right, we're fine. We're fine. By all means, JK, go for it.
You may continue.
Righto,
JK.
$10 from Ella. 15K hype soon. Well, it's already done now.
Oh, catch up.
Also, Denise, don't let this man tell you what to do.
Yeah.
We had $21 from Sandshark. 15K, let's go. Put this towards Green Spyro. Will do. $61 from Brendan. Pain is just pain entering the body. And then $40 from Uwu Pookie. Knock, knock. Who's there? Door. Door who? Dora. And we had $20 from Neon Medusa. Beyond the chateau you settle for, there is a miracle illuminated.
All right, so this is the hardest room in the game. It is not a fight because we try to fight as little as we possibly can, but I'm going to pass it across to Mum so that I can concentrate and hope that we don't die multiple times here.
Okay, so this is the Polaris fight. So this is the most RNG, and in brackets he's got that means random mum. So I'm assuming you all know what that means. It's the most RNG portion of the run. We're incredibly underleveled for the area, and these enemies are brutal. There are 6 siphons here, and that are drawing power out of Polaris. We have to disable all of them to free her. So what we're going to try and do is drag the enemies from one siphon to the other so that they spend most of our channeling time running. However, some will occasionally put on their sprinting shoes and get to us much faster than we intended. I'm trying to watch and read at the same time. To combat this, we're going to try and stand in a specific spot so that we can block their bullets using the environment. The first 3 are usually pretty free, but the 4th and 5th siphons are where the danger really lies. Did you die?
Nah.
Okay. Did you die?
Nah.
As
Keep going.
they'll spawn flying to Marcy, who can, at a moment's notice, one-shot us.
I'm real close to dead though.
No, no, no. You can do it, Josh.
It's these rocket launchers. They just spawned in the wrong spot. And there's no real way to manip these guys, so it's just a matter of praying that they spawn in the right spots. And they've got a hiss ball with them, who is just impossible to keep pinned down. There it is. That's okay. We hit the checkpoint. We hit the checkpoint. So the first 3 were in fact free. What's that? 4 deaths?
Yep.
Is that 4 deaths?
Yep. It's not good, Josh.
It's not good.
Sorry, all these
It's not
people
good. I know.
have come to see you not die.
Can confirm it is 4 deaths now.
It is 4 deaths. All right.
Also, I'd like to make a special mention to Bear with a Shotgun with the $2,000 donation match.
Ah, very cool.
$2,000. That's not a small amount of money.
All right. so good news is we don't have to do that whole section again. We
Oh,
only
thank
have to
God.
do the last part again. I died at the first siphon of the second round. So now we can just go. Straight to here. Hopefully, if we get lucky. Okay, that was perfect. That was perfect. So this next section, I actually do need to fight some enemies because I want to try and avoid them from having line of sight on me. So we're going to dash up to this platform here first. This is going to spawn one enemy. Oh, we got the rare spawn on top. That's very unlucky. But there is no hiss ball here, so thankfully when we do damage to them, they actually stay damaged. So we're just going to quickly, all right, there should be all good. Now all the enemies are sort of grouped up at the bottom of the platform, so they shouldn't have line of sight on me, provided that I stand right here. And this is normally where I'd say this last siphon is completely free, but based off of the luck I've had so far today, that's not going to be the case. So I'm going to dash across here. The enemies are going to spawn in the right spot. Last siphon. Everyone cross your fingers for me, please. Okay, we're through. Thank God. Oh. Also, Jesse, swear jar, please. All right, this is Polaris. We're going to stand on this. We're going to shoot at it. And there we go. And this is the part where normally I would say time, and I would really like to mess with tech and pretend that this is the end of the run. But spoilers, it's not, because we do have one more section just after this. But in true Remedy fashion...
1 minute 24, one minute, 1 hour 24.
Heads up, tech, we might just go a little bit over, a little bit overestimate. But this is another nice part where we sort of get to take a break. Usually on a run, I'll run to the bathroom right now, but unfortunately they're just all slightly too far away, so I'm not going to do that right now.
Rachel did suggest I tell a few anecdotes from your childhood.
She did, didn't she? Oh, God. Please don't.
No. No, because the ones that are going through my head are probably inappropriate.
But look, while we get to this point, I do want to just have a couple of shout-outs while we work towards the end. Mostly, first and foremost, to Remedy Games, who made an absolutely incredible... Well, they make only incredible games, and I'm very excited for Alan Wake 2. But Remedy sort of go one step beyond when it comes to supporting their speedrunning community. There'll be a section we get to right at the end where there is a giant wall around a certain platform that is only there because of speedrunners. They actually waited to implement fixes for the bugs that we exploit in the out of bounds category or any of the glitched categories. They waited until we had a working down patcher before patching the bugs out. They are the only company I have ever known to wait to release bug fixes until the speedrunners had a way to reverse them. Also, I'm hoping that this flashing isn't appearing on stream and this is just on the monitor. But if it is, please give me a heads up so I can just take a little pause and we can, it's fine for me, but I just don't want it to be affecting the stream as well. But here we're just doing some menial tasks. Fun fact for anyone who's played it casually, you don't actually need to do all of the tasks. You only need to do 2 of the tasks, and you can just do the same task twice. So we're just going to collect some coffee cups here. We're stuck in a bit of a time loop, which for reasons I will not explain. But we got to collect tasks from the notice board. Pick up coffee cups. This is what my office looks like at home. Mum can confirm. A lot of coffee cups everywhere. And then we are good to pick up the mail. And this is one last loop. And I do believe, JK, I will need you to confirm for me. Did we reach the Dr. Darling incentive?
Yes.
Wonderful.
The watch dynamic.
We did. Yes, the dynamite incentive. Amazing. So before we do, we're coming up on that in just a second. So if you have not already seen this cutscene, just know that it has incredible lore implications. And I know that sounds like sarcasm, and I promise you it is not. It does actually have lore implications in the grand overarching story. But I do hope that you really, really all enjoy it. So last loop here. And then we're on to literally the final stretch of the game. I reckon I might just get... Oh, no, if we have to watch Dynamite as well, unfortunately, we are going to go slightly overestimate. But hopefully, Tech won't be too mad at me for that.
I need my gun.
All right, cool. We're back to our normal selves. All of the floating enemies have been replaced with versions of us, as the Hiss have managed to have a bit of control over us now. That's where the name of the game comes from. But we've got one last trip to the Ocean View Motel and Casino before we come to the close of the game, provided that I can actually get one last skip. 1, 2, 3. But while we wait for that skip, I would like you all to enjoy
This is what Dylan
the best cutscene in the game.
Idiot.
There you go. That was Dynamite for you all. It's actually really funny that that's the first time any of you have even seen Dr. Darling for this speedrun, and that's your introduction to him. But here we go. Last section of the game. We have gotten to Dimensional Research Lab, which is where sort of the Hiss first infiltrated the Bureau. And what we're going to do is we're going to make our way. As you can see, everything here is just super messed up because this is the part that has been most affected by... Oh, my goodness. I just took quite a bit of damage there. But that's okay. There we go. We're going to get up here. This is the slide projector that has been the cause of everyone's problems. And now, with a bit of luck, I'm going to be able to dodge half of the combat here. So, normally, there's 3 islands that spawn one after the other. One island spawns, a bunch of enemies spawn on it. You kill them all, the second island spawns, a bunch of enemies spawn, and then you progress. But if I do this properly, line this up here. 1, 2... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. It's all very specific with the counting. 2, 3, 4, 5. Shit, I think swear jar! Swear jar! I literally missed it by a heartbeat. Oh, that's so frustrating. That's okay. I
Yet
do get
another
a second.
death?
There's another death.
Brings us on to 5.
Look, my most deaths ever in a run was 6, so as long as we stay underneath that, I think we'll be okay.
I think you keep jinxing yourself every time you say that.
Myself, it's fine. It's fine. It's late on a Sunday. I don't think anyone's holding me accountable for this. Besides, it's all just for. In fact, wait. If I die 6 times, that'll be the most I could have donated to charity. So that is going to be the best way for me to pass it off here. Good news is, by getting as close as I got to that skip, Island 1 and 2 have both spawned now, and their enemies have despawned. So now I can just dash across it the way I normally would, as if I had done all the fight. So it still saves time over doing it the casual way or the intended way, but it's just not quite as fast as getting that skip right on the first attempt. But that is fine. I feel like I think that's the only skip that I didn't get, which is, you know, kind of a relief. There are much harder skips than that. But now all the enemies, as you can see, are level 30. But good news is we're also level 30. So although I can still die here very, very easily because they all still do a hell of a lot of damage to me, I can pretty much one-shot everything except this last Hiss Distorted that is right there. But she drops a hell of a lot of health, so we're fine now. We should be fine now. I've probably jinxed myself again. But it's just going to be wave after wave of enemies. So while I am cleaning this up, I just want to give a couple of shout outs. Of course, first and foremost to the Control community. You guys are all wonderful. And of all the speedrun communities I am a part of, they are without a doubt the most welcoming and most passionate, I think, as well about their game. Like, as much as this game drives us nuts sometimes, I think we would all defend it to the ends of the earth. So if you are interested in speedrunning, if you're a speedrunner already, or you just want to break into it, this is such a wonderful game and wonderful category. That's a map. To start with, so by all means, do not feel like this is impossible for you, because I promise you, it is not. Of course, my wonderful Twitch community, thank you all so much. I know it was like 5 a.m. for half of you. So I want to thank you guys for showing up the way you did and for all the donations. Obviously to ASAP, who have done such an of the Australian speedrunning, AusSpeedruns, who have done such an incredible job setting everything up. For most people didn't go over estimate, so they, kept the schedule running. This is actually my first Australian marathon as well, which is awesome. I've done GDQ, I've done ESA, but this is my very first marathon on home soil, so it really means so much to me to be able to be included here. And of course, to my wonderful mother. Without her, I wouldn't be here literally.
Literally.
So yeah, massive round of applause for Mum. She actually said no when I first asked her to do this, and then she got a bit of courage up. Yeah. And
I did notice he's never asked me to do the Sweden one though. Like,
hey,
I feel like that should be the next one.
Sweden.
That might be the next one.
Maybe
Step up.
Maybe the next one. All right, at the end, this wall here is the wall that I was talking about that they put in because of speedrunners. Whoops. But we are coming up on time. What was I, 5 minutes over? That's not too bad. That's not too bad. So we're coming
and
up
we started
on
late. Oh, no, that's right.
Yeah, the time.
Yeah, that's right.
I was going to also use that as an excuse.
Damn
but
it.
yeah.
We tried.
Also, if I dash on this final platform where this guy is hovering, I crash the game. Do you guys want to see that? Yeah? Done. Time!
1 hour, 34 minutes and 43 seconds.
Thank you, JK. Guys, I am going to get out of here, but this has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you all so much for hanging out. And hey, we have a little tradition on my stream, twitch.tv/KassXCII. Oh, sorry, headphones users. And I would like to welcome you all into it, if I may. It's a reminder of sorts to all of you here, those of you at chat and watching the VOD later on, that the world is a bigger, better, and brighter place with you in it. You are doing a wonderful job. I am super proud of you. And in case no one has told you today, you've got a great butt, a cute face, and I love you. So stay happy, stay safe, and if you can't do either of those, then stay strong, because better days are coming, and they are just around the corner. I promise you that. So until next time, this has been Control. I've been Cass. You have been incredible. I'll see you all soon. Mwah!
What a wonderful run, Cass. That was beautiful. We also, during that run, we hit $15,000. Give a round of applause for that one. While I'm here, I'm going to read out a few donations that happened during that last bit. We had $20 from Anonymous as a Capricorn. Game on, Cancer. We also had $50 from Nelson Daly, no comment, and then another $50 from him as well. Greetings from the Netherlands. Coming up next, we do have Super Smash Bros. Unlock all characters. So stick around for that. We just had a $50 donation from Mastodon. Let's push and keep Black Spyro in front. Put this towards Black Spyro, which means Black Spyro is currently in front with $340. Green is behind with $321. While we're at it, I'd like to make a mention at we are Australian Speedruns, a group of speedrun events to raise money for charity. For this event, we're raising money for Game on Cancer, a charity which funds early career cancer researchers who are working across all areas of cancer research. If you would like to donate, you can go to donate.ausspeedruns.com. That is donate.ausspeedruns.com. If you're here in the crowd today, you can go to the table to your right. There is a donation jar there for physical cash. I'd also like to make mention that we have a few prizes for anyone who is within Australia. These prizes include Elgato Streamer PAX, which consists of Elgato Stream Deck Mark II and a Wave 3 microphone. We're also giving away plenty of games, including 3 physical copies of Sonic Origins Plus, provided by 5 Star Games, 5 digital copies of Heavenly Bodies by 2-Part Interactive, and 3 digital copies of Speaking Simulator by Apple Games. To enter into the pool of these prizes, a minimum of donation of $100 is required, but even as little as $5 could be seen you winning one of these games. For more information and full terms and conditions, please be sure to visit prizes.ausspeedruns.com. That is prizes.ausspeedruns.com. We'd like to thank Elgato, 5 Star Games, 2-Part Interactive and Apple Games for providing all of these wonderful prizes. Just a quick heads up, we're still in the middle of setup, so give us a few moments to get ourselves back up and running. We have $20 from Cats. Knock, knock. Who's there? It's Black. Black Spyro. Black Spyro is the only Spyro. I shall add that to Black Spyro then. Cool. With that being said, I think I've got given the thumbs up. So, are we ready for Super Smash Bros? Ara, take it away.
All right.